Please, race director. Look at the gap. We should probably grab a snack in the middle of the podcast. Just walk up.
You're crazy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 3 Wide Podcast, hosted by myself, Ethan Reich. And who am I here with today? Of course, the one and only Ferrari Man.
Race director.
I think I'm just gonna start referring to you as the Ferrari Man from now on. How does that sound?
I mean, it's good now, but I'd rather be the race director. Race director.
It's funny that you're wearing a cap right now, right? Because we just had an off-camera argument that you think Fernando Alonso is better than Lando Norris. It's funny that you're wearing a cap because that is complete fucking
in the talent department, bro. In the talent department and experience. 41-year-old 41-year-old Lando. 41-year-old Alonso is absolutely more skilled and probably more talented if you give him a good car. You're gonna make the same argument for Lando Norris, but
no, I don't have to.
I don't have to.
I'm
not gonna lie.
No.
Alonso, bro. Nobody gives team radio. No. Nobody gives better team radios than Alonso, and that's a fact, bro. Only the person that gives better team radios is probably Kimi, but Kimi's not on the grid. Alonso gives better team radios. Alonso literally pushes the fuck out of the car. And please, race director.
I'm gonna end this argument in 2 seconds. Ready? You would agree that the Alpine's quicker than the McLaren, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Undeniably quick.
Right?
Undeniably quick.
Right? The Alpine is much quicker and more competitive than the McLaren.
Hell yeah.
Easy. How many points does Alonso have in the championship? I believe it was 66.
Let's have a look.
66 points, right?
He has 59, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yes. No, Alonso has 100, and Alonso also has one podium this year.
Wait.
I know, but
Alonso has that. You mean Lando?
I'm sorry. Lando has 100 points and one podium
in a slower car.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what's it called? 350 race starts, 2 world championships, 31 or 32 wins. 32 wins, I think.
But we're not talking about the past. We're talking about now.
I know. That is now. He still has those 32 wins and 2 world championships.
Does he now?
Yeah.
But
let's see Lando go for
just
one.
Just wait.
I'm waiting, bro. I'm waiting.
Just wait till Lando gets a competitive car.
I'm waiting.
We'll discuss on another podcast, maybe even later on this one. But Lando Norris is by far.
I'm not denying Lando Norris is good. I'm not denying that Lando Norris is good.
Well, I'm here to tell you
Alonso is still a very talented
Lando
and
Norris
amazing
is
driver.
Arguably top 2 drivers on the grid. I believe he's number 1. Just saying.
Damn.
Just saying. If you give Lando Norris that Ferrari,
sounds like cap. That sounds like cap.
Well, we'll discuss this later. But anyway, we're here to discuss the Singapore Grand Prix that just happened over today. We're recording this on Sunday, obviously. A pretty boring race to start out with, especially with all the delays that happened, similar to Monaco, where a bit of rain threw everybody off. Even though rain has been forecasted for like a couple of days now, right?
Yeah.
Since last week, we said rain was going to be a thing in Singapore.
And a wet quali for sure, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and a wet quali. But
yeah.
We'll just talk about the race. Qualifying was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
except for when the mechanics decided to deny Max.
Well, it was because of the fuel sample. They were afraid. Yeah, but yeah. So.
What about the fuel sample?
You have to have you have to present a fuel sample after each session for them to like make sure the car it's in regulation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were. The mechanics were afraid that wasn't like they wouldn't have any fuel left to show.
Damn.
Yeah.
They couldn't have picked a better possible time to do it.
Yeah, but Singapore Grand Prix. I'll dive into it. Opening lap 1. Pretty good start for the top 3 runners. Hamilton maybe being pushed wide a little bit by Sainz, dropping from 3rd to 4th.
Yeah.
I saw Twitter. Some people said like Sainz pushed him off unfairly. In my opinion, it's just lap 1 racing. We've seen it.
Racing incident.
Yeah.
But Checo with a mega start.
Not even a mega start. Mega drive. If that might have been his best drive in form. Because
probably one of his best drives. I mean, the other ones were what?
Bahrain's up there.
Bahrain's up there, and
But if
secure.
you're talking consistency and dominance, probably this one is his best one.
Yeah.
For sure, right? But anyway,
Yeah.
we had
easily.
Albon spinning and crashing out early on.
Not spinning, just crashing.
No, but didn't he spin?
He crashed.
But didn't he spin it earlier on and then crash?
Or maybe he did.
I
just
think
remember
he spun it earlier and then crashed. I think.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, he did. You're right. He did.
At the hairpin, right?
He spun it and then later crashed. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously missing the last race due to surgery, and there was a couple questions saying would Albon be ready to come back, and was it a little bit rushed? Is 3 weeks enough time? Because yeah, you have the surgery, but then it takes a little bit to recover, as we know from the injuries that you probably know of yourself. So you think it was a little rushed to bring Albon back, even considering how good De Vries did?
Rushed, maybe, but from what I've heard, I don't think he was feeling even remotely close to okay before even starting the qualifying or before even starting the race. But you gotta drive at that point, and it's at that point it is what it is. But to have De Vries as a safety option, definitely 100% safer option, but I think he himself also wanted to see if he was gonna be like okay. So I think it was a pretty reasonable thing. But then again, good thing he didn't get hurt. Good thing nothing happened to him. And I mean, he spun, he crashed, he DNF'd. What more can you do? It's Williams in the 21st century. Come on, what can you expect?
Well, I mean, we got points finishes last time for Williams last week.
We did, but again, De Vries carrying on a different track, and this is Singapore, which honestly, with the beginning of this race, might have been a worse snooze fest than Monaco, of basically every single year.
Yeah.
Because the way this race started out was so boring.
Well,
it was
Formula E
Monaco was more interesting.
Well, Formula E is a lot of tight street circuit-like tracks, right? And
yeah, but the cars are smaller, bro. You can't compare the Formula E to I'm just comparing
I'm comparing the tracks, but we saw De Vries do wonders in a Williams car at the Temple of Speed, 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah,
I thought it would have been a good idea to give them
a second drive. I'm all for it. But
no, because he's more comfortable in like a street circuit like setting.
Maybe.
And it's pretty likely that Williams are gonna sign him. So don't they want him to get the most experience in a Formula One car they can? True,
but
if Albon's healthy, right, he's your number 1 driver. Of course, you want to race him, but I don't think there's.
Yeah.
If he was feeling any slight of bad, what do Williams have left to salvage this season? You know what I mean? You might as well give Nick De Vries another drive. Might as well.
True, but I don't think what's it called.
They probably weren't. They probably weren't expecting.
Albon, they weren't expecting that, and I guess in the heat of things, Williams did the best they could, but. You know, it is what it is with Williams. I mean, it's Williams. It's not like Albon's gonna win the world championship in 2023.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nick De Vries is gonna do any better than that either. So, But I'd love to see him drive Yeah, but you know.
You say you don't know if Nick DeVries might not do better than Albon, but can certainly do better than the other Williams fucking numpty that they have still driving that car. I told you guys last weekend that this exact water bottle, I told you guys on Wednesday, is better than Latifi. I'm actually gonna say that this headphone jack right here will win you races compared to Latifi. Has a better chance.
Bro,
Let's get
I'll
to
tell
that
you
lap
what,
7.
the race director Michael Massey would probably do better than Latifi in a Williams.
Let's get to that lap 7 incident between Joe and Latifi. You
Yeah,
made a good point
I mean,
before off camera about how the Alfa Romeo is the only car with that like extended side pod area.
Yeah, the way that Aston Martin looked in the beginning of the season before. Yeah, no, I feel like that's a very big mistake to keep that on. I mean, we saw in the beginning in what was it, when the season opener in Bahrain, that they finished, I think, in the points, was it?
Yeah.
Bottas finished in the points, I think.
Joe as well.
Joe did too. Joe did too. That was in the season opener. To Red Bull DNFs.
True.
And you know. I mean, they're the only ones who realistically did not bring any, if not too much, if none at all, upgrades. Like, period, to the side pod. I think every other team has basically upgraded.
And that was early on. I remember seeing, like, people would upgrade, like, I think Mercedes and I think also Ferrari were very quick to make changes and adjustments to the side pod area as well as Red Bull. All the top teams were quick to like read the rule book and see where they could find more pace.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe Alfa Romeo really saving for next season. You know what I mean? Didn't want to invest the time.
Well, I hope so, because they better do something. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, but anyway,
see them with the, same design, no improvements. Even though with the drivers they have actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
I guess to recap, Latifi basically crashed into Guan Yu Zhou, and well, yeah.
Like I don't understand how that guy didn't see him. I mean, Zhou's nose is clearly in there. Latifi's coming across, and you have mirrors in an F1 car. You don't even need mirrors to see him. You just look over, you'd see his nose sticking in probably. You just squeeze them right into the wall, and they both crash out. I just don't understand how Nicholas Latifi still has a drive. I mean, I know he doesn't have one for next season, but how he had one.
That's probably they foreshadowed this moment.
How he had one the last couple of seasons is beyond me, but yeah, he just.
I wish we had the Nicholas Latifi from like the 2019 era when he first came in.
Yeah.
Because he was good. He was pretty good for a rookie. Not like exceptional like DeVries or some shit, but like he was pretty good.
Better than this guy, this fraud.
Yeah. Right now he looks like Mazepin of like 2021.
Yeah, but we have lap 21, Fernando Alonso, DNF, engine failure. The guy who you could proclaim
I think Ocon did first. I think Ocon did first.
Yeah. Double DNF for Alpine.
Yeah, Renault, bro, Renault.
Where does that leave them in the
constructors?
I'm gonna check this. I wonder what they're doing in the constructors now. I'm gonna check it right now.
Still ahead.
But it's probably marginal, right? Because Lando and Ricciardo got 4, 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
And they got no points.
It is marginal, I think.
Let's see. No, McLaren ahead by 4. McLaren ahead by 4 points.
Yeah.
They're in 4th.
By 4, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. But
that's a big result.
Yep.
Let's talk about McLaren real quick, actually, because the driver who seems completely out of form, might not get a seat next year, Mr. Daniel Ricciardo. Because
you gotta admit, the livery was cool.
Yeah, maybe that is what helped McLaren out today, the new livery. But Mr. Ricciardo, P16 to P5, what a drive that was. Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a hell of a drive. Almost making me remember his Red Bull and Renault years, because that was something spectacular. I mean, completely like spectacular. That was his best drive of his entire season this year.
Oh, without question, without question.
Yeah, because if
I would
only
even,
he
I
could
would
drive
even go,
like that.
I would even go far
you
to
know.
say it's second behind his Monza win at McLaren.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Because when
for
you
at least
take
for the
into
past 2
somebody
years.
so like highly rated, right, before he came to McLaren, so energetic, charismatic, always had a smile on his face, to the drive to
Yeah.
the so out of form and consistently bad performing driver he is now. Nobody expected what Daniel Ricciardo did today. And it's not like he can't do that. Like, he clearly has the abilities, like, to be a
And
great...
it's seen. It's seen.
And it's been shown before at places like Monaco, Brazil at times, where he's a race winner. Like, he could show he is a world-class driver on his day. Them days just have not been as often as recent times, you know what I mean? And today he finally showed, like, I'm still here. So my question is he, like, does this race give him that much more of a case not to run for a seat next year in Formula One? And if so, where? Oh, I think.
Well, in our previous stream, he technically has a case, and I think from this he has definitely increased his motivation, especially going into the next race next weekend. But I mean, it's just not enough. Like, this is his best result, and every other time I don't think he's even finished. We look at his points right now. I mean, he's barely ahead of Vettel. He's P11 actually in the standings with 29 points. I mean, it's a bit embarrassing, but if he could just get, like, for at least the next 4 races, his stuff together, he might actually crack the top 10. He might actually crack the top 10. I think so. He's not bad of a driver, but something's not right at McLaren. At least something's not working out for him at McLaren. Maybe at a different team he might have better chances, but I don't know, something at McLaren though.
No one questions.
With him, it's just not.
No one questions Daniel Ricciardo's ability, right? We all know, like, as fact, that Daniel Ricciardo is a really good driver. We just question if he could show that anymore. Is that Daniel Ricciardo still present? We know what he's done. We know what he can do. Will he do it? And he hasn't done it in a while, until today. So if he keeps this up, where do you think he'll go next?
Well, I was thinking maybe, cards as they are stand, either Alpine Haas or AlphaTauri, but
I think it's Haas. Him and Gunther would be an insane partnership.
Probably, but should he make it back into the the Red Bull squad? No. Also up on cards. But
I don't think
then again, I don't think he'd go from, like, Red Bull to, like, AlphaTauri,
No.
in that big of a jump. So Haas might be his better option.
Because we don't even know if Gasly's contract didn't even get bought out yet, right? Like, he has 1 more year left, I'm pretty sure, right? So Gasly might end up staying at AlphaTauri. So there might not even be a seat there yet. Because Ocon does want Mick, according to himself, more than Gasly. So Haas is, I think Haas is the real target, or Alpine, obviously. But I don't think would Alpine want him back? I don't know. I mean, he left very prematurely. Yeah, he wasn't given what he was granted, like a top performing car, but he still left them. And I don't know. So for me, I think it's gonna be Haas. So I mean, we'll see with that. Anyway, we have on lap 33, Lewis Hamilton breaking his way a little too late into the corner, going a little bit, carrying a little too much pace into the corner, locking up the front tires and ending up in the barrier. A race that I actually predicted him to win. I believe.
Yeah.
I predicted on Wednesday for him to win. I thought he looked fast. He was what, 54 hundredths of a second behind Perez in qualifying. He looked quick this weekend. Mainly
could have been a podium. Could have been a podium at the least.
Should have been a podium, I feel like. But yeah. Hamilton going a little deep into. Oh, not a little. A lot deep into the corner. How that front wing stayed
twice.
Yeah.
Not only that, twice.
But how that front wing stayed
big mistakes.
How that front wing stayed in one piece when he went into the barrier. I was really surprised. I thought it would be like broken off, but stayed strong. But
that the what's it called? His impact wasn't like Yuki's, but like
it was still like pretty, impactful.
It was a decent like tap at the least, but what's it called? Those barriers do hold like the water, and I guess that did soften up the impact a bit. So,
maybe.
Yeah, but the fact that he was still able to stay in the points, that's still really impressive.
Yeah.
Still pretty impressive.
I think he rejoined after the incident P5 pit and went down to P8. And then later in the race, we'll probably cover again.
Yeah.
With around 34 minutes left before everything started kicking off. Because, for those of you who don't know, the F1 race itself has a 2-hour window that it could finish in. Most of the time, it finishes well before the 2-hour window. But because of I think it's a 4-hour window. I think it's a 4-hour window. And obviously, most races finish well before the 4-hour window. But because of the delays and all the safety cars and pits and things like that, the race had to be ended via time. So I think there's like 35 minutes left instead of like 40 laps, something like that. So with around 34 minutes left of the race, Max, this was after the safety car, Verstappen completely locks up the brakes and tires trying to make the move on Lando Norris for P4, ends up on the escape road, flick spins it and comes out in P9. Very ambitious move from Max. Reminded me a lot of last year Baku when Lewis started on pole or on first after safety car and locked up right into the safety exit, safety road. From what could have been P5, P4, and maybe pushing for the win, locked up and went right into P9 and found himself behind the likes of Ricardo, and somewhere the Red Bull shouldn't be, but an overly ambitious move maybe caused Max the loss here today. We know how fast that Red Bull is. We know how confident the driver behind that Red Bull is. Was that the right move to make the lap after the safety car went in? What are your thoughts on that?
It was. I don't know. Honestly, I'm still to this moment. I'm still processing that moment because I don't know. I feel like that was just like it was all part of the race on it. What did you think about it?
I mean, of course it's part of the race, but do you think that Max could have fought for the win if that mistake didn't happen? Because we know how quick that Red Bull is. We know how quick that driver is behind the Red Bull. Do you think the result would have been different if that mistake didn't happen?
I'm not gonna lie. even with or without the mistake, he did not look like he was in form for the Singapore Grand Prix because it was lacking a bit in qualifying, and you could see that. Then
True.
during the race, starting P8, dropping down 4 places is a lot. That's a lot, especially when you consider the fact that Daniel came from 16th to 5th in a shit car.
Yeah.
And Max is in the fastest car, one of the fastest car on the grid. That's a lot. Meaning
Definitely.
Poor race start, poor quali, and poor positioning. Nah, I think that he wouldn't have even finished on the podium. Max, I would have given him his P4 because there were many DRS trains split up behind at least the 2 Ferraris and Checo, and between the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, and then behind Vettel there were many DRS trains. And for the most part, throughout the entire race, it was basically Charles Leclerc and Checo Perez trading fastest laps, only to have finished with George, who was in last, finishing 2 seconds faster than I think Checo, which put him at the fastest lap.
Well, he was out of the points
Max,
too, so he won't get the point for the fastest lap, right? He came P12.
He won't. But still, he did snatch the fastest lap, which is still pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
But he P14, I think.
P14, that's the one. Yeah.
Because 6 cars DNF'd.
And I think P12 was Mick, or I think one of the Haas cars was P12.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, Max did not look strong at all this weekend. I want to say he would have finished.
You think
not
he
even
knows?
Well,
I'm pretty sure he knows the championship is all about wrapped up, right? Maybe he's taking a little back seat.
I don't think he's taking the back seat. I think he was still pushing like an animal because you saw his lunge on Lando. A person that's laid back would not make such a lunge, especially on a circuit as tight as Singapore. I mean, Singapore, Baku, and Monaco are some tight circuits. Very difficult to overtake on their own. It's still possible, but very difficult to overtake.
Baku's easy to overtake.
But today,
on the straight. But in the corners,
well, yeah.
In the corners, no. In the corners, yeah.
Yeah, in the corners, not at all. But Singapore in general,
you rarely see overtaking in most corners.
Like if not, yeah, Singapore is still pretty hard to overtake.
Yeah.
I mean, still, Max did try that lunge on Lando and it failed, so he wasn't slacking, but it was not his day today.
And speaking of lunge, with around 1 minute 30 seconds left, Hamilton tried a lunge on Vettel. And I think he went into a more damp part of the track, caused him to go a little bit offline, lock up, front didn't turn in as much, which
went really wide.
Yeah, gave Max the opportunity to dip down under and overtake Hamilton, and then soon after, Seb Vettel was overtaken by Verstappen as well. For Verstappen to finish, I believe, in P7. Yeah. I think Verstappen got P7, Hamilton got P9, I believe.
Very lucky for him, because he would have been P9. He would have been P9 had it not been for those two.
Yeah.
For those two mistakes off Hamilton, but.
And Vettel, yeah. But
it is what it is.
Is that race win coming? For LH? Is it going to be a full F1 year without a win for Big LH?
I really don't want it to be that way. Out of all races, I'm really praying for Sao Paulo, Brazil, because
that's the one that strikes you like Hamilton.
It's the one, yeah. This is definitely Hamilton's finest hour. I mean, if not at Sao Paulo, then I really don't know where else, because
I don't think
every other track is literally inclined into either Red Bull or Ferrari.
Yeah, he's not winning at Mexico. No, Lewis.
Hamilton will probably not win at Mexico. Yeah. Honestly, Checo should have taken the W at Mexico, but I guess in Singapore he decided to take one more. So, never hurts to grab up any extra points and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's our next
And in the championship, he is still only 2 points under Charles Leclerc. So.
Well, that's our next our final talking point. Perez, flawless drive, best of his career so far. I've been kind of harsh on Perez these last couple of races. You know, he finished like P6, P7 sometimes P5. Not where you'd like normally see a Red Bull finish in this day and age. But hey, he won today. Completely flawless drive.
He even said it himself during the end of the race.
Yeah. I'm sure many people wrote him off for a race win this year. But hey, he led every lap, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically controlled it. Was at 1.18 seconds ahead. He killed it today, man. You got to give credit where credit is due. Great drive from Perez. I think that gives the Red Bull team a boatload of faith to like know that he's still one hell of a driver. Even though everyone knows Max is number one, you got a hell of a good number two right behind him as well, which is always good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but my last point about Red Bull, we heard recently about the potential salary cap breach for last year. I believe it's also Aston Martin as well as up there, because, you know, Lawrence Stroll loves a cheat. But,
yeah.
Red Bull might have gone over the salary cap this past year.
Not just for last year, but
this one
this
as well,
year
yeah.
as well, I think.
But last year
and Aston Martin as well.
Last year's the one that surprises me, because they could get either in the range of a fine to the exclusion of a championship. Now, would it be fair to exclude a championship that happened almost 12 months ago now? No, I don't think so, in my opinion. If it's the right thing to do and it has to be done, would I be mad at the situation? Not really. The FIA is going to do what the FIA needs to do. I think some common sense will have to be applied, though. Like, I don't think Max should deserve a championship, exclusion or deduction, basically. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this late breaking news that came 4 days ago, something like that?
You know, I was quite shocked about to hear that they breached the thing for last year. I would have guessed it was for this year, because that's what I originally heard it was for this year, along with Aston Martin. And I'm not surprised Aston Martin would have breached it last year, although I don't know what the hell they were upgrading last year, because this year, I don't know what they wasted any upgrades on, because there was no improvements made.
Maybe the toilet in their factories. They got the new...
probably did upgrade the toilet.
Yeah. They probably...
The Rolls Royce of all... But, yeah, no, I don't know what they upgraded. Probably each of their salad, but I'm not quite sure about that, gonna be honest. But, last year, that's a bit shocking. But at the same time, I'm not entirely surprised. The thing with the penalties. Okay, if it was by a significant margin, I feel like an appropriate punishment should be made, because if you literally put in an extra $100 million, that's like, bro, seriously, that's a lot. With an extra $100 million, I think any team could go from whatever position they're in to top 10 at the minimum, to build better cars, better everything.
You mean top?
So if it's 100,
because there's 10 teams.
Yeah, top 5 probably. But if it's $100 million. Maybe taking away a championship, although taking away a championship would be really, really harsh, and I don't exactly agree with that. I feel like the FIA might go for that if it's a humongous, $100 million over the thing. But I'm not entirely sure that they went over it by a large amount. I'm thinking somewhere between 0 and 50 million.
It's all rumor at the moment.
It is rumors, but you know what they say: behind every rumor, there is always an ounce of truth.
Mm-hmm.
So because that
I've never heard that one before.
Rose up only after the championship, that tells you something.
Yeah.
That makes you want to speculate. So always something to look out for things like that.
You could hear that.
They addressed this earlier. Probably, but Red Bull does like to hide their things pretty well.
Yeah,
but
you can hear the frustration in Checo's post-race little radio message.
Yeah,
it was like, "Oh, we just shut our mouths and drive. It's the Mexican way." They're probably so flustered, thinking, "Oh, we could lose our championship that we worked so fucking hard for." That could all be gone due to the salary cap was brought in to make things fair, and things were definitely fair between the competition between the Red Bull and Mercedes last year. But If Mercedes spent X amount of money, and Red Bull spent X amount times more than Mercedes, and creates a little bit of unfairness, even though the cars were equal. What Mercedes could have done with that money could also resulted in Lewis winning that championship. You know what I mean? So.
I agree. I mean, it's literally like, I feel like if they were to go through with a punishment for Red Bull, I don't know, it would probably be like maybe some grid penalty drops for the next race. Maybe something like appropriate with the dollar amount that they did go over.
It could be a fine.
I don't see anything drastic. Could be a fine, but then again, I don't think it would be anything as drastic as removing the championship. But the fact that Checo said it at the end, that means it's serious.
Yeah,
no driver would just start talking about rumors on a post race radio. But still, the fact that he mentioned it, that means it's quite serious.
Maybe something's going on. You know, who knows? I'm sure there's going to be more of this story to come about in the later days, if not weeks, because something like this is a big matter. And it will probably take time for it to really develop, and we're gonna know, and probably take time for us to know what's really going on, because Formula One's very political. A lot of things are hidden or told on the day it happens. You know what I mean? Like Alonso, for example, Alpine didn't know that he was going until he left. You know what I mean?
All right, everyone, have a good one. We'll see you next race.